Hello, English learners, and welcome to your daily English dose. We're kicking off today with a question that, well, it might sound a little too good to be true. What if you could genuinely go from barely speaking any English at all to confidently holding conversations in just 5 months? Wouldn't you want to uncover the exact roadmap to make that happen?
It definitely sounds like a stretch, doesn't it? A big promise.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. This isn't some, quick fix gimmick or a magical solution. This is actually a scientific learning strategy. It's deeply rooted in the academic field of second language acquisition, or SLA.
SLA.
Yeah. And what's so powerful about this approach is how closely it mirrors the brain's natural learning mechanisms. That means this isn't just for a few gifted individuals. It's highly reproducible. It's really a process anyone can follow.
That's a really crucial distinction, I think, because for so many of us, learning a new language feels like this uphill battle against some invisible talent barrier.
Exactly. That feeling is very common.
So let's unpack this roadmap. You're saying at its heart, this whole 5-month plan, it hinges on a foundational balance.
That's right. It's about massive input. So lots and lots of listening and reading paired with really strategic output. That means purposeful speaking and writing.
Input and output. Got it.
Exactly. And by the end of this deep dive, our aim is for you to walk away, not with vague ideas, but with a concrete month-by-month action plan. And maybe even more importantly, we want to equip you with the motivation to stick with it.
Because motivation is key. It can be so easy to fall off.
It really can. Many learners struggle not because they lack ability, but due to something called the affective filter. It's basically a psychological barrier that pops up when we feel self-conscious or anxious about making mistakes.
That makes sense. The fear factor.
Precisely. So we're going to lower that filter by shifting your focus. Success here isn't about some innate talent you either have or don't. It's about consistently following a proven step-by-step process.
That sounds incredibly empowering, shifting from talent to process. Okay, where do we begin? Let's dive into month 1, foundation getting your brain used to English.
Right. So the goal for this first month isn't perfection. It's not even understanding every single word you hear.
Okay, so what is the goal?
It's simply about getting used to English. Think of it as building an English brain, starting to process English directly without that constant, really exhausting internal translation back to your native language.
Right, cutting out the middleman in your head.
Exactly. And a key part of this is a gentle review of, say, middle school level grammar and vocabulary. But, and this is crucial, please, do not pressure yourself to memorize everything perfectly.
Okay, no cramming.
No cramming. The objective is simply to reacquaint your brain with the basic game rules of English. Think of it less like studying for a test, more like just checking in with the fundamentals. No stress, just recognition.
That low-pressure approach makes a lot of sense. So what's the practical daily habit for this month?
This is probably the most important bit for month 1. Just 15 minutes of daily passive listening to simple English.
15 minutes. That sounds incredibly achievable. Like everyone can find 15 minutes.
Right. And its purpose is vital to grasp because it's not about comprehension at this stage. We're not asking you to understand everything.
Okay, so if not understanding, then what are we listening for?
The real goal is to get your ear used to the unique sounds of English. The phones, like there or R versus L. And also the natural intonation, the rhythm, the music of the language. You're developing phonetic awareness.
Phonetic awareness?
And
Yeah.
by removing that pressure to understand every word, we drastically lower that affective filter, that anxiety. Your brain can then just sort of absorb these sound patterns stress-free. And this small, achievable 15-minute goal, it aligns perfectly with the micro-habit idea. It builds that sense of, I can do this, and prevents burnout.
Okay, so if comprehension isn't the primary goal, what kind of stuff should we be listening to? It needs to be simple, right?
Exactly. For true beginners, children's animation is fantastic. Think Peppa Pig or Super Wings.
Ah, okay. Simple words, clear speech.
Yes. Simple vocabulary, usually slower, clear dialogue, and the visuals give you so much context. It helps a lot. Or for something a bit more informational, learner-specific news resources are excellent. VOA Learning English, NHK World Japan.
Oh, I've heard of VOA Learning English.
Yeah, they're designed with limited vocabulary and spoken at slower speeds. VOA even has this thing called VOA 60, short daily news bursts, perfect for that 15-minute slot.
Great suggestions. So once our ears are getting tuned in during month 1, how do we build on that? What's next?
That leads us right into months 2. Input reinforcement learning with what you love. After getting your brain used to the sounds, this month we dramatically increase the input. But, and this is important, with a focus on comprehensible input based on your personal interests.
Comprehensible input. That rings a bell. Isn't that related to Stephen Krashen's ideas, the I+1 thing?
Exactly. You've got it. Krashen's input hypothesis. The I+1 principle basically says the most effective learning material is just slightly above your current level.
So I is what I know now, and +1 is the little bit extra.
Precisely. It's mostly understandable, but with just a few new words or structures. Challenging enough to keep you learning, but not so hard that you get frustrated and, switch off.
And the best way to find that I+1 sweet spot is to pick stuff you actually like. Movies, music, sports.
Absolutely. Your existing knowledge about a topic you love provides powerful context. It helps you guess the meaning of new words and expressions. It's like having a built-in support system for understanding.
Okay, practical choices then. For movies.
Start with films where you already know the story well. Classic Disney movies are great for this, like you mentioned. Watch with English audio, definitely, and try English subtitles, too. This helps connect the sounds you're hearing with the written words.
Sound and text together. Makes sense. What about music?
Music is incredibly powerful for memory. The melody and rhythm really help things stick. Start with slower songs, maybe some Carpenters or Bruno Mars ballads, perhaps. Listen with the lyrics in front of you. And here's the key. Try singing along. It seriously helps internalize natural pronunciation and rhythm. And it's fun.
Singing along. Okay, I can see that working. And for other interests, like hobbies?
Oh yeah, simple YouTube videos or podcasts about cooking, gaming, sports, whatever you're into. Loads of accessible content out there. But just listening isn't quite enough to make those sounds yours, right? How do we bridge that gap?
Ah, this must be where shadowing comes in. I've heard it mentioned.
Yes, shadowing is a really powerful technique for improving both listening and speaking simultaneously. A lot of learners feel stuck thinking they can't sound natural. Shadowing helps retrain your mouth and ear. It's about feeling the rhythm.
So it's more than just copying.
Much more. It's cognitive retraining. Let me break down the steps briefly. First, just listen to a short clip, maybe 15, 30 seconds. No script. Just feel the rhythm, the intonation.
Okay, just listen first.
Second, listen again with the script. Connect the sound to the text. Notice anything you misheard. Third, the repeating step. Pause after short phrases or sentences and mimic the pronunciation and intonation exactly. Try to sound just like the speaker.
Okay, pause and repeat.
Fourth, try overlapping. Play the audio and read the script aloud at the same time. Match the speaker's pace as closely as you can.
Reading along with the audio.
And finally, step 5, the actual shadowing. Listen without the script and speak about half a second behind the audio, like an echo or a shadow.
Wow, that does sound intense. Very active listening and speaking.
It really is. It requires a lot of concentration. So, a word of advice. Start small. Just 5 minutes of shadowing daily is plenty at first.
5 minutes. Okay, consistency over intensity.
Exactly. You're building new neural pathways. Don't burn yourself out.
Got it. Now, what about vocabulary? So many people just memorize lists of single words, right? Is there a better way?
There absolutely is. It's time for a really crucial shift here. Move from learning isolated words to learning phrases in context.
Phrases, not just words. Why is that better?
Well, phrases are immediately usable. You learn natural word combinations, we call them collocations, like make a decision, not do a decision, and you absorb grammar patterns implicitly without having to, study dense rule books.
That sounds much more practical. How do we manage learning phrases efficiently?
Digital vocabulary apps are your friend here. There are some great ones. Megan uses gamified quick quizzes, which is great for motivation. Quizlet has tons of user-created sets, often based on specific movies or hobbies. And if you want to create your own lists from things you're watching or reading, apps like Wordholic or offer high customization.
Okay, so apps can really help organize those phrases. So month 2 is about boosting input with stuff you love, using shadowing to tune your ear and mouth, and learning phrases in context. It feels like you're really starting to actively engage with the language.
That's precisely the goal, turning passive input into active intake. Shadowing forces attention on sounds. Creating phrase lists forces attention on meaning and structure. You're taking control.
All right, so we've filled our tanks with input. Month 3 must be about actually using it. This feels like the scary part for many. Month 3, courageous output from inner voice to words.
Yes, this is the pivotal transition. And you're right, it can feel intimidating. It's all about managing that anxiety and starting with really low pressure methods. But output is crucial. There's something called the output hypothesis from Merrill Swing.
Okay, what does that say?
It explains that attempting to speak or write makes you acutely aware of what you don't know yet, what you can't quite express. This noticing the gaps then directs your attention. When you encounter the correct forms later in your input, you'll actually pay more attention to them.
Ah, so trying to speak actually makes your future listening and reading more effective.
Exactly. It's not just practice, it's a powerful feedback loop that supercharges your learning.
But that fear, that foreign language anxiety or FLA, it's real, the fear of making mistakes in front of others.
It absolutely is,
Yeah.
and it's perfectly natural. So the strategy here is to build confidence slowly, starting with zero audience output. Just you.
Zero audience? How does that work?
The first, and maybe easiest, speaking practice is simply talking to yourself.
Talking to myself.
Yeah. It's free, you can do it anytime, anywhere, and there's absolutely zero judgment. We suggest structuring it a bit. Level 1. Just narrate your actions as you do them. I am making coffee. I am opening the window. Simple, present, continuous.
Okay, like a running commentary.
Level 2. Describe your surroundings. There is a book on the table. The book is red. Using basic nouns, adjectives, there is ser. Level 3. Start verbalizing thoughts, feelings, plans. I'm hungry. I think I will eat an apple. Tomorrow I want to go for a walk.
That seems manageable, starting simple and building up.
And to help expand even those simple sentences, try using the 5W1H framework. Who, what, when, where, why, how. It pushes you to add a little more detail.
Good tip. What about writing practice? Still low pressure.
Definitely. Start with a 3-line diary, just 3 simple sentences about your day.
3 sentences. That's it.
That's it. Today was a good day. I went for a walk in the park. I saw a cute dog. Super achievable, right? The key is consistency. It builds the habit and confidence.
I remember trying to keep a diary in English way back, and it felt like pulling teeth sometimes, just staring at a blank page. 3 lines sounds much less daunting.
Exactly. And for something a bit more interactive, but still low stakes, try short posts on social media.
Like Twitter. Or maybe language learning apps.
Yeah, Twitter or apps like HelloTalk or Ingly. HelloTalk is interesting because it has a community feature. You can post something short, and native speakers might offer gentle corrections.
Oh, so mistakes become learning opportunities without the pressure of a real-time chat.
Precisely. Which brings us to the golden mindset for this month. Welcome mistakes.
Embrace the errors.
You have to. It's maybe the most important psychological shift. Differentiate between communication mode, just getting your message across, and learning mode, aiming for perfect accuracy. In these early output stages, stay firmly in communication mode. Just try to be understood.
That's a huge relief, actually. So mistakes aren't failures, they're data.
Exactly. They show you where your knowledge gaps are. They tell you what to focus on next. Reframe that frustration as curiosity. It genuinely accelerates the learning cycle. You learn so much more from trying and getting it wrong than from staying silent out of fear.
Okay, building confidence, starting small, welcoming mistakes. Month 3 sets the stage. So, month 4 must be about stepping onto the stage. Month 4, practical training, creating real conversations.
You got it. Moving from solo practice to actual dialogue.
Oh.
Intentionally creating positive, effective communication opportunities. You're ready for online English conversation lessons now.
Ah, the online lessons. Lots of platforms out there.
There are. But here's a key observation. Just showing up for the lesson often isn't enough. Preparation is vital.
Why is that? Isn't free talk good practice?
It can be, but for beginners, unstructured free talk can be really overwhelming. You might spend half the time grasping for words, the other half wondering what to say. You can actually reinforce that anxiety, that affective filter.
Okay, so how do we make those lessons more effective?
We recommend a specific learning cycle. Before the lesson, choose a topic you want to discuss. Maybe your weekend, a favorite movie, your hobbies. Then research maybe 5 to 7 key words or phrases related to that topic. You could even write out a few sentences you want to try using.
So go in prepared, like having a mini script.
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
Then, during the lesson, tell the instructor your topic. Actively try to use your prepared phrases, and don't be afraid to ask, how would you say this more naturally? Remember, mistakes are your compass.
Okay, be proactive in the lesson and after.
After the lesson, review any feedback the instructor gave you. Review your own notes. Add any useful phrases you learned to your vocabulary app. Solidify it.
Before, during, after. That cycle sounds like it turns a 25-minute lesson into a much richer learning experience.
It really does. It makes it highly efficient and focused.
What about practice outside of paid lessons, language exchange partners?
Absolutely. Language exchange is a fantastic free way to practice. But again, choose your platform wisely. They have different strengths.
Like HelloTalk versus Tandem, for example. What's the difference?
Well, HelloTalk feels more like a social network. You have timeline posts, group chats, even live streams sometimes. People can correct your public posts. It's great for community interaction and getting quick feedback from lots of people.
Okay, more social. And Tandem.
Tandem is more focused on one-on-one matching. They tend to have stricter user screening, which some people prefer for safety. The chat and call features are usually high quality, designed for focused practice. Partners often review each other too.
So maybe HelloTalk for broader interaction, Tandem for finding a serious, dedicated practice partner.
That's a good way to put it, yeah. And don't forget offline opportunities.
Right, getting out there in the real world.
Check if your local city or area has an international exchange center. They often host events, conversation groups.
Like the Kawasaki City International Exchange Center you mentioned.
Exactly. Also, the Meetup app or website meetup.com. It's brilliant for finding local groups based on shared interests. And that very often includes language exchange groups or events.
Meetup. Good shout.
The critical thing here, the real insight, is that shifting from just studying online to actually using English in real-life situations, it transforms learning English into living in English, even if just for an hour.
And that feeling of actually communicating successfully.
It's incredibly powerful motivation. Understanding someone, being understood, that feeling really fuels your desire to keep going.
Okay, that makes total sense. Which brings us, wow, already to the final stretch. Month 5, integration and continuation, a lifelong habit.
Exactly. This final month is about solidifying everything. Aiming for higher fluency, sure, but maybe most importantly, establishing sustainable, enjoyable learning habits. Habits that will stick with you long after these 5 months are over.
Making it last. How do we do that?
Well, a key thing is reflecting on your progress. It's vital for motivation, but it also builds your meta-learning skills.
Meta-learning. Learning how to learn.
Precisely. Understanding how you learn best. This makes you an autonomous learner, someone who can keep improving long-term without needing a strict plan forever.
So how do we actually see that progress? It can be hard to notice day to day.
Try recording yourself. At the beginning of the month, record yourself answering a simple question, like, what did you do today? Then do it again at the end of the month.
And compare the recordings.
Yeah. You'll likely hear clear improvements in pronunciation, fluency, maybe your range of vocabulary. Hearing that difference is incredibly motivating. Concrete proof.
That's a cool idea. What else?
Look back at your learning logs, your vocabulary app, your notebook. Seeing the sheer volume of time you've put in, the number of phrases you've collected, that physical evidence of effort is powerful.
Right. Acknowledging the work you've done.
Or try revisiting something that was hard before. Rewatch a movie scene from month 2 that felt really challenging then. Notice how much easier it feels now. That gap is your progress.
Seeing the change. Okay, now what about pushing fluency a bit more in this final month?
A great way to do that is practicing structured opinion expression. This helps bridge the gap from beginner to intermediate, moving beyond just describing things to logically stating why you think something.
Expressing opinions. That can feel tricky, trying to organize your thoughts in another language.
It can. So start simple. Pick easy debate topics where the goal isn't winning, but just practicing the structure. Things like cats are better pets than birds, or summer vacation is better than winter vacation, maybe school uniforms should be abolished, accessible themes.
Okay, low-stakes topics. How do you structure the opinion?
Use the PRP method. It's a simple, clear framework. P is for point. State your conclusion first. I think cats are better pets. Simple.
Okay, main point up front.
R is for reason. Give your main reason, because they are more independent.
Point reason.
E is for example. Provide a specific example to support your reason. For example, you don't have to walk a cat every day.
Example makes it concrete.
And the final P is point again. Briefly reiterate your conclusion. That's why I believe cats are better.
PREP. Point, reason, example point. That seems really useful for organizing thoughts quickly.
It really is. It helps build clear, concise arguments in English. And finally, let's talk about making this stick. The psychology of habit formation. Making English just part of your life.
Yeah, this is often where people lose steam after a course or a plan ends, right? How do you keep it going?
We want learning to feel like an everyday activity, not some special event you have to gear yourself up for. A few simple, science-backed strategies help.
Okay, what have you got?
First, habit stacking. Link your new English habit to something you already do automatically.
Like brushing your teeth.
Exactly. So instead of just trying to remember to write your 3-line diary, you decide, after I brush my teeth in the morning, I will write my 3 sentences. You piggyback on an existing habit.
Clever. Leverage existing routines.
Second, environmental design. Make it easy to do the right thing. Lower the friction. Put an English book by your bed. Put your learning apps on your phone's home screen. Make English visible and accessible in your environment.
So make the good habit the easy option.
Right. Third, think reward over willpower. Willpower is finite. Build in small rewards. If I study for 20 minutes, I get to watch one YouTube video I enjoy. Associate English practice with a little bit of pleasure.
Training your brain with positive reinforcement.
You got it. And finally, consider public commitment. Tell someone, friends, family, social media, just a simple statement. I'm going to keep doing 15 minutes of English listening every day. That little bit of social pressure can be a surprisingly positive motivator.
Accountability. Okay. Habit stacking, environmental design, reward, public commitment. Great practical tips for making it last. So, wrapping this all up, the core message seems to be learning English is definitely a journey, not a race, not a sprint.
Absolutely.
This 5-month plan is a fantastic roadmap, a goal, but the most important thing really is just to take that first step today and then the next one tomorrow.
Small steps, consistently.
Yeah, it's okay not to be perfect. Those consistent small steps are incredibly powerful. They will lead to fluency over time.
Definitely. So now, thinking about everything we discussed today, all these methods and ideas, which one specific thing makes you, listening right now, think, yeah, okay, I can definitely do that?
Ooh, I like that question. Focusing on the one thing that feels most doable right now.
Exactly. We genuinely love to hear what that is for you. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. What's your first achievable step?
Your answers really do help encourage that positive self-reflection, and it builds a great supportive community down there in the comments. It can really boost your commitment just by writing it down. And of course, if you found this deep dive helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to your daily English dose for more.
Thank you so much for joining us on your daily English dose. Keep practicing, keep growing, and we'll see you next time for your daily dose of English.